Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video, we are going to take a look at super attacks. More importantly, super attack multipliers. So obviously, I've done videos on how to save Kais, how to get Kais, all those sort of things. They'll be linked at the top right hand corner of the video. But I wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about how super attacks work, because I've been helping someone out with making a Dokkan team, getting into Dokkan. They're a new player and they couldn't understand why their units were not doing a lot of damage, even though they had leveled them up, even though they had Dokkan awakened them, and it was because of super attacks. So a lot of players will know that obviously super attack levels are important and raising your unit's SA is important, but I kind of wanted to show you guys how. So we're going to talk about super attacks. Okay, so if you take a look here and you scroll down, by the way, this is the Dokkan wiki. I will link it down in the description. This is where I go whenever I need information about units or anything. It's a super helpful website. It's where I learned a lot of what I know about the game. And yeah, but if you take a look at the calculation of damage, you get leader skills, passive skills, support items and support memories, link skills, attack boosts from active skills, key multipliers, passive skills which are then calculated when attacking, your SA multiplier, and then type advantage. So it's very important here that you note that SA multiplier is the second to last step. So it's quite a big factor in calculating damage. So if we talk here, your SA multiplier can be magnified in certain ways. So you can get boosts from allies, you get boosts upon reaching certain SA levels, you can get hidden potential boosts, so it's an extra 5% per level, and essentially it's a huge multiplier that is applied to your attack. So it depends on what the designation is for the unit, but they've got a great example here. So you can ignore the rest and just focus on the attack stat with key multiplier factored in. It's 241,000. Okay, your immense damage level 10, so that's a max level unit that has immense damage with a SA boost plus 6. So that's 30%, because remember each SA level is 5%, and that gives you 535. You can see that you multiply your final attack stat by 5.35. So it boosts it all the way from 241 to 568. Now, if you look at the multipliers, level 1 for an immense attack is 280%. Okay, so you are just over half the prospective damage, or multiplier, I should say, than you would have at 505. So instead of getting 241,568 times 535, you would have it by 310, 3.1, because you would have the 280 plus the 30%. That means that in theory, your damage would only be just around about 720,000, which would be a huge 500,000 loss comparatively to everything else. So it's very, very intense overall. Now, if we take a look at multipliers, you can see there are a whole bunch of multipliers, but we're going to focus on these four here, mainly because these are the four most common, but also, yeah, well, that's basically it. They're the four most common. You can see they've applied the example here, where you can see Goku's attack stat, and you can see his super attack multiplier being applied. So if we take a look at the most common ones, the level is on the left-hand side here, and you can see the multiplier that's being shown. Now, Supreme is the most common one, and is very common for DFEs and Easy Aid free-to-play units, Easy Aid units in general, of older units. Generally, they'll get the Supreme modifier. Now, if you take a look, Supreme at level 10 is a 430% boost comparatively to 250. For immense damage, you can see it is 505% comparatively to 280. For Colossal, you can see that it is 345 compared to 300%. And for Mega Colossal, you can see that the difference is quite small, 440 to 350. The reason Mega Colossal damage is so much lower is because usually Mega Colossal is associated with LRs, and LRs get a 570 boost at level 20, which is actually technically the highest default boost that a unit can get, because all of these are easy aid multipliers, and this is a super strike only multiplier. So you can see immediately the big difference between their damage, and you can also see how that is then manifested with a further increase at level 25. So if you take a look comparatively just to your beginning here, your 250s, your 280s, your 300, and your 350%, the respective max level for all of these essays is 630, 630, 450, and 620. So you can see it's almost double, and in some cases it is more than double the level 1 ability of your units. And that's why the SA multiplier is so important, because you can literally, you probably are missing out on doubling your damage. Now we're going to take a look at examples of units where this applies, so you can kind of get a rough idea of how this works. So if we take a look at the observance of Pride Vegeta, this is the recent Vegeta, you will see that before his EZA, he caused immense damage to enemies. Okay, so that's how you can tell. So that means that if we had a max level Vegeta and we went down to the immense tab, he had a 505 multiplier. Remember, you also factor in your additional SA boost if you have it, and all units have 6 as default, and so you should have 535. Pretty decent. In his Easy 8 form, he now causes immense damage still. So he causes immense damage as well. So we can take a look, and you can see that his multiplier has gone up to 630. So comparatively, instead of a 5.35 multiplier, he'd be running a 665. So if we used this Goku as an example, ignoring all other stat effects that occurred, obviously, and we just took his damage and multiplied it by the multiplier down here, which is 630, and let's just add in the other 30% for consistency, and we times it by 6.6, so 241, 568 times 6.6 gives us a very solid, whoops, that's my bad. Yeah, gives us a very solid 1.6 million. So you can see it's almost a whole nother, around about a quarter or so more damage, which makes sense if you look at the raw maths. Then we'll take a look at someone like the new Int Vegeta. So this Int Vegeta also causes immense damage to the enemy. A very, very solid unit overall, but his multiplier is only 10. Now, he has a multiplier of 10, which means his will only be 505. So you can see that big difference. Now, obviously, EZA has factored this in. It's part of the reason why the unit gets better. But let's take a look at something like a LRZA. So you can see here on their 12 key, most LRs have colossal damage. Now, if we take a look at the board, you will see that colossal damage at level 20 is only a 425 modifier. Not great, basically. And comparatively to Mega Colossal, which is a 570%. That's usually why you will see quite a big difference, or one of the reasons why you'll see quite a big difference between 12 keys and 18 keys on LR units. It's generally one of the big reasons why. Very special units like Goku and Frieza, part of the reasons what makes them so very good is they have Mega Colossal applied on both. So they're actually sitting with a 570% buff on both of their key attacks. That's why they have such little drop off between their super attack or attack powers. It's because of the fact that their multiplier remains the same. Now, if we go back and we take a look at them, we'll see that they have Colossal and they have Mega Colossal. But now, when you raise them in an LRZA, you'll see there's no change to the modifiers, but the level will change. And this again changes how our damage comes out. and they will move to level 25, receiving a 450%, which is only a 25% increase on the maximum, comparatively to a 50% increase on the maximum of their 18 key. So you can see once again that 18 key, 12 key divide is really quite common. Now, if we want to use another unit as an example, we'll use another free-to-play unit, I think, as an example. It'll be a pretty nice one overall. But if we take a look at some of the free-to-play units, we'll just grab a random one just so you can see the change. So a nice one is Android 13. That'll be a pretty good one since he's got the strength one. So Android 13, the strength Android, you will see he does supreme damage. Most free-to-play units will do supreme damage. It's pretty much how they roll. And you can see supreme damage is a pretty decent multiplier, actually. It's 430%. You can see it's quite small comparatively to the others. And when they easy A, you will see that it jumps to 530. Again, a nice increase overall. So when you go to the extreme weakened forms, you will see that they are still causing supreme damage. So very rarely when units easy A will you see their super attack modifier change. It will change for very, very old units, and it's one of the reasons why their easy A's are so valuable, but for the most part it won't change too much. But yeah, that's pretty much it for super attacks. Like I said, if you want to take a look at how units function, and you want to take a look at just anything to do with Dokkan really, the Dokkan Wiki is a great place to go. It will teach you how everything comes together, and yeah, you can become an APT wizard this way. But this was just a way for me to explain how super attacks work. I think it's something that's pretty helpful overall, and I think it's something that a lot of players maybe really don't understand when they first start. So yeah, thanks for watching, and it was pretty much just me reading the guide. So please, if you do need help, go to the website. It is very helpful. It's really well put together as well. But yeah, cool. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. But until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.